Hello there. Hi, everybody. Welcome back. So today's live stream, we're looking at IELTS speaking, and we're going to focus on part 3. So what we do in these live streams is basically I'll share a link. Whoever wants to can join me live. I'll ask them some practice IELTS speaking part 3 questions and give them feedback. So by giving them feedback, then I'll be able to point out what their biggest problems are, and then they can focus on fixing those problems. And of course, that's what will bring your scores up. Then the idea is that for those of you who don't participate, you can get a better idea of what the examiner is looking for, the types of things that the examiner considers as problems, and some things that you might think they're problems, but the examiner doesn't care. So you get to kind of figure out, you get a better idea of what the examiner is looking for. And if you have any questions, feel free to ask. I'll be able to answer your questions for you as well. So just give me a moment here. I'll just share the link with you. Okay, so if you look in the comments, you can see there, click on this link to join me live. So whether you're on Facebook or YouTube, you should be able to find it there. Hi, man. For this, you will pick random people as well for speaking evaluation, just like writing. So today is just, well, I'll pick people at random. Whoever joins will be chosen. So it's not really more complicated than that. If you want to join me, click on the link. If I have too many people, I'll have to choose people at random. But this is only a small channel, so that generally does not happen. So I wouldn't expect it to happen today either, to be honest. Okay, so I have Abdul with me here. Let's get Abdul on screen and we'll do some practice. Hi, Abdul.
Hi, sir. How are you?
Very good. Nice to meet you. There's a little bit of static noise from your microphone. Is your microphone connected properly?
Now, check if there is any problem now.
Yeah, there's a bit of a kind of like a buzzing kind of static noise, like an electricity noise. Can't hear you at all now, but you're unmuted. Hang on, I'll try to unmute you.
Give me a minute. Now can you hear me?
Oh yeah, much better. Much better. Good.
Okay.
Hi, Abdul. Nice to meet you. So where are you from, Abdul?
I'm from Pakistan.
From Pakistan. And what score do you need in the speaking test?
I need band 7.
Okay. Right. So we're just going to do a few part 3 questions. Remember, in part 3, you're talking more in general. You're not talking about, your own specific experiences, but, maybe like the people in your country, the people around you, just generally, not about you. Okay. So I'm going to ask you some questions about hotels. First of all, let's discuss staying in hotels. What things are important when people are choosing a hotel?
I would say there are a number of the things they have to consider while choosing the hotels. First of all, they should check the fundamental facilities such as electricity, because in my country, I would say there are many hotels where lots of electricity issues are. So they should consider this one first, and after that, they should also check the food, because not every hotel provide the healthy diet. They always provide the junk food because mostly people like it. So they should consider this factor as well, because many peoples are allergic to the different food and they need some specific diet, so they should check it.
And Why do some people not like staying in hotels?
I would say the reason might be that hotels are so expensive, and because of the fortune cost, people often avoid to stay in hotel. But on the other end, I must say, if we are talking about foreigners, so they have no choice. Obviously, they have to stay in the hotel, and I have never seen a foreigner have any problem with the staying at hotel, even though they like to they like to stay in hotel actually. So by and large, I must say it depends on the people to people.
And do you think staying in a luxury hotel is a waste of money?
uh, It depends actually. If a luxury hotel provides the all necessary things, all necessary services which are people often looking for, so obviously the money investing money on such hotel is never a waste of money. So and for example, if we are talking about the hotel, luxury hotel, and they provide the healthy diet, and they provide the a number of the cuisines, offer the number of the cuisines in the meal. So and apart from this, they also provide the other services like the comfortable room, and great trained staff to facilitate the uh, uh, l- facilitate the people. So I would say there is no any waste of the money on such luxury hotels.
Thank you. Okay, you're looking very, very good. Really strong. Have you done the test before?
Yes, sir. I have attempted the test, and unfortunately, I got the six in speaking.
6.
Uh, Six in speaking, and now I am trying to improve. And I have a number of questions. I just make three questions for you before this live session, and I
Okay,
was waiting for you.
good. Well, I'll answer your questions in a moment. Now, can you tell me how long ago was it when you got band 6?
It's just last month. By the end of the last month, actually, I got the sixth band in
And
speaking.
would you say it was very different from the way you're speaking here today?
It because I am consistently preparing for my IELTS.
Yeah.
Even though while commuting, I am keeping my mobile with me and along with the questions of the IELTS, and I just think about it and trying to implement your strategies that you said me in the previous in some of the session that you must have to train your brain to think about and pick up the questions. So this is what I
Yeah.
am trying to do now.
I would say honestly, you're looking at a band 7 level here based on your answers today. Very fluent. If anything, like pushing up towards a band 8 in fluency. Good range of vocab, using it accurately. You made 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 grammar mistakes throughout those whole things. So like you're frequently producing error-free sentences. You're using a good range of structures. Um, so some mistakes you're making, you made a mistake with subject verb agreement, plural, article,
Okay.
article, and plural. So articles and plurals are your most common mistakes,
Okay.
but you're not making a large number of them. So I mean, you're looking good in that area. And the only thing that I would wonder about then is kind of across your pronunciation, your sentence stress and your intonation aren't quite accurate. So you might be a low 7 or a high 6. Your pronunciation of the V and the W sounds, you mix them up. So you might say von instead of one, or you'll say provide instead of provide. So when it should be a W, you're making a V, or when it should be a V, you're making a W, kind of back and forth with that. So those would be the main ones. Those would be the mistakes I would be most concerned about. But certainly, I can't see any reason why you're getting a 6. You know, if you said I got a 6.5, I'd be like, okay, maybe your pronunciation score was a bit lower. But in terms of, you know, I would say a 6.5, very nearly a 7, if not 7 already. So I can't really imagine why. you're getting 6 in your previous test, unless you've improved a massive amount, in that 1 month. But to improve that much in 1 month is not common, So maybe you have, but
But I want to mention one thing here, that in the past I was or wasn't following your strategies that you shared in the videos, but now I am trying to follow the all things which you have already said in your different sessions. I also pick up the different things from your website, and I
yeah.
try to practice in a similar way what you asked us to do. So I don't see any problem. I really thankful to you.
Well, you're very welcome. Let's hope that translates into a band 7 in your upcoming test. So,
And
and then your
I
questions.
Yeah, sir, please.
Yeah.
I have the questions about the vocabulary,
Mhm.
that in the band descriptor, there is the description that you have to use the idiomatic language. And I don't know what I should to remember, because there are many idiomatic language, and this is something I don't think so we use in a natural English. I am
No.
really confused about it.
Yeah. So you don't need to use idioms. Like, a lot of people think that means you need to use idioms. So idioms would be, old-fashioned phrases. It's raining cats and dogs, or to stay up late. I was burning the midnight oil, or if there's an old man talking about when
Like
they were
using the beat.
young, when I was knee high to a grasshopper. Those are not the types of phrases that the examiner needs from you. It's just normal idiomatic phrases, like, if you say I wasn't feeling very well, you can say I was feeling under the weather. So that's just a normal common phrase. Or even if you're saying hang out, I enjoy hanging out with my friends. Like, the word hang and out, you put them together, is very different from the meaning of the word hang. So these are idiomatic phrases. It just means that the individual words are not really connected with the meaning when you combine them. So you're not trying to use idioms. You're just trying to use normal vocab, and some of that vocab will be idiomatic. And I would say, as far as you're concerned, I wouldn't even consider it. If you're trying to learn vocab, just continue learning normal vocab. And when you're in the test, just use the vocab you're comfortable using. And inevitably, some of that will be idiomatic. You mightn't even notice it if it is or isn't. And it doesn't really matter in terms of what your goal is. It should be just, if you want to learn vocab, learn normal vocab. And when you're in the test, use what you think is normal vocab. So don't go learning idioms. It's not necessary, and it's not what the IELTS examiner is looking for.
So, is there any reference, any website where I can learn about the natural idiomatic expressions? Because I found different websites on the.
I wouldn't go down that road. Like, just learn if you learn vocab that's at your level, you'll just learn words that are kind of suitable for where you are now. So it shouldn't be, I want to learn idioms. It should just be, I want to learn more vocab. So the better your vocab gets, the more idiomatic language you will be learning. And when the time is right, you'll learn them. You'll probably know lots of them already, especially with phrasal verbs. Like, most phrasal verbs are idiomatic. But just kind of, what you want to do is learn the vocab that's suitable for your level now, not that will be suitable for your level after another 4 years of studying English. It's just like, don't make it more complicated. Don't learn special words because you're doing the IELTS test. If you want to improve vocab, just continue learning normal everyday vocab, just normal words that you don't know yet, rather than special words. Like, that's not the approach to take, because you're just going to make more mistakes and use words that are unnatural, and it become unclear, that type of thing.
Okay, and just last question from my side. We should use the complex structure in every sentence, because while speaking, I can't remember that I should use the complex structure every time. And is it necessary? Because in the band descriptor, there is something that you have to speak, that you have to produce complex structure every time. This is something I assume.
No, it's not every time. No. So you'll be using, so for a band 7, it's just a mixture. Band 6, a mix of short and complex sentence forms and a variety of structures. So you're using a mixture. Band 7, a range of structures used flexibly. Both simple and complex sentences are used. So it's not saying that you're using only complex sentences. It's just that you're using a range. And complex doesn't mean complicated. It's just any sentence that has a dependent clause is considered a complex sentence. So even when you use the word because, I went to the shop because I needed milk, that's a complex sentence if you use the word because. So they don't have to be really complicated, long, multiple clause sentences. It's, just, again, it's, are you using very basic, simple structures every time? Or are you just speaking in a normal kind of way where you need a variety of structures to communicate clearly? So you're already using them without even trying. So it's not really something that you need to consider.
Okay, sir. Thank you so much for your feedback. I really consider it and will practice accordingly.
You're more than welcome. My pleasure. Take care of yourself. Bye, Abdul. Hey, Samuel. How are you doing? I'm very well. Thank you so much. All going well. Good to see you. Good to hear from you, Samuel. Okay, so I have another student here, Aman. And we get Aman in and we'll do another round of questions. Hey, Aman. How are you?
Fine, that's about you. How are you?
Doing very good. Thanks. Where are you from, Aman?
I am from Pakistan.
Very good. Same as Abdul.
Yes.
And what score are you aiming for?
I am at 7. I am trying to improve my score towards A because on 17th of previous month, I got 7, but unfortunately, I was unable to score 7 in writing. As I am struggling with this, so I try to got this opportunity and try to improve my speaking further.
Okay, good. So that can happen, all right, where one score is high enough, but the other one comes down. So let's get a few questions for you here. Okay, now I'm going to ask you some questions about working in a hotel. Do you think hotel work is a good career for life?
Yes, for some people, it could be a good work for as a career because in the hospitality industry, there are various kind of domains where people can become a chef, where they prepare different kind of cuisines for the people. And on the other way around, there are people who try to manage different things like management in the hospitality industry. With the advancement of technology, the fuel is getting cheaper, and people now have different kind of opportunities to travel abroad. Where because of this, the hospitality industry is growing phenomenally. So there are plethora of options for people to have a different type of careers in this industry. So I believe it is a beneficial career prospect for some people.
And how does working in a big hotel compare with working in a small one?
Well, compared to small hotels, working in a big hotel can bring more satisfaction and pride, I believe, because when you are when you are in a connection with a multinational or a corporation that have a huge name like McDonald's, KFC, or Pearl Continental Hotel, that is a five-star hotel in Pakistan. So the people who are working there kind of they are doing a great job because these hotels are at best in that domain. So people feel a sense of pride in this. And besides that, these corporations ensure that people have a a balance between work and life, and that can be compromised in small hotels because small hotels don't try to hire that much staff, so they try to make sure that they are managing their all the tasks with the staff they have. So for me, this is the big differences between small and big hotels.
Okay. So for you, absolutely pronunciation is the main issue. Your sentence stress and your intonation and your chunking. So you follow this pattern that would be very different from the way we speak in English. So if I say, which would be very different from the way we speak in English. So there I stressed very different from the way we speak in English. I also paused after the word different. I said, which would be very different from the way we speak in English. So the stresses, the pauses, and the intonation are quite different from what you're doing. So you have this thing, it just goes in a constant wave. So I'm going to try to copy you so you understand what the problem is. This isn't exactly how you sound, but this is the type of problem. When you are speaking, you tend to go up and then down and then up again. So it's always going up and then down like this, no matter what the sentence is about. So it's that constant whoop, 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 constantly that pattern when you're speaking. But in English, we have those longer waves across the sentence. So there's a longer wave across the sentence, but you'll have, there is a longer wave across the sentence. So you tend to have these short little waves between, like, you know, the stress word and the intonation. That's the big issue for you at the moment. And that's the one you're going to have to address first, I would say, above anything else, above fluency, vocab, grammar, any other aspect of pronunciation. That's what you need to work on. So the easiest way to tackle that is if you shadow or mirror. I think shadow, they call it shadowing. Like, let's say, get a video, go on YouTube, get a video of someone speaking in English. Doesn't matter what they're talking about. Ideally, they would be a native English speaker so that they're doing it correctly. So the first thing you're doing is you're listening for which words are stressed in the sentence. So you just listen to one sentence and pause the video. And you're trying to recognize, okay, they stressed that word and that word. Great. Okay. So now I'm going to try and do the same thing. So you try to repeat the same sentence, hitting the same words, right? Then you listen to the next sentence of the video, press pause, try to repeat it using the same stress. So what you're doing is you're trying to get familiar with the stress pattern, the regular stress pattern in English, and it'll take a while to get comfortable with it. It will feel very unnatural in the beginning. So all you're doing is copying for a while. And after a while, then copying enough, you start to get a bit more familiar with how to do it and how it sounds and how it works. And then you stop using the video and you're on your own and you're trying to introduce that into the way you speak when you're speaking English and kind of adapting your own, like every time you speak, you need to change that to match what you've been learning from the videos. So that's what you would need to do.
Okay, I will try to do that. Previously, I was speaking in a monotonous way, so I try to learn this thing, and I think that I am overdoing it. Therefore, I am having this problem.
Yeah, well, it's not an easy problem to fix. You know, I'm not trying to say that, oh, you just do it, it's quick. I mean, it could take, if you're doing 2 or 3 hours a day, you know, it could still take you 3 weeks, 4 weeks to overcome it. It's like, you know, it's basically what you're doing naturally without even thinking. You have to retrain. You have to retrain that whole, you know, part of your brain that decides when to go up and down and which words to stress. So, you know, it can be done. And it can be done the way I was describing, but that doesn't mean it's easy. It's not like you're going to sit down for an hour and then suddenly it's fixed. You know, it's across time, a lot of work and a lot of effort, and you know, you get there. Okay, so
Yeah,
that's the main one for you.
try to do that. And
Yeah.
what's about other parts of the entertainment?
The other parts of the score, like fluency, vocab, and grammar, mostly doing very well. You know, you're also making mistakes where you mispronounce the vowel sounds in some words. Like I was saying with Abdul, you mix up the V and the W sounds sometimes, but really that would just be distracting you from anything, from what you need to focus on. I would say don't worry about anything else except those two things, the sentence stress and intonation for now.
The bigger issue for the pronunciation can be, as we are in Pakistan, we are speaking Punjabi that have a very thick accent. So this could be the reason I am speaking that much. And you know, the pronunciation is a very subtle thing, and I am unable to understand where the speaker is putting a stress and which are the words they are speaking in a fluent in a flow that is I am unable to follow.
Yeah, so that's the first thing. You're going to have to learn how to identify which words are being stressed, you know. So just maybe just doing more listening for the first while, just to get comfortable with that, and then start repeating it. Yeah, but I mean, pretty much everybody's pronunciation mistake comes from their first language. You know, like some countries they'll mix up V and W, like in Pakistan. Some countries they'll mix up TH and S, like in China. So it's not that it doesn't come from nowhere. It nearly always comes from your first language. So you know that's kind of to be expected. Okay, so there you go.
Okay, thank you.
Take care of yourself. Bye, man. Okay. Hi, Khalil. Khalil says, well explained. Thank you. Okay, so I have one more student, Rajapov. You'll need to turn on your camera if you want to participate. If anyone else has questions, jump in on the comments section there. Ask any questions you have. And we'll probably wrap it up soon enough then after that. Hi there. How are you?
Good afternoon. I'm doing well. What about you?
Very good, thanks. Where are you from?
I'm from Uzbekistan.
Very good. And what score are you aiming for in the speaking test?
Well, it's 7.
Okay. Right. So let me just find some questions here. So here I have some questions about technology. First,
Okay.
let's talk about technology and education. What is the best age for children to start computer lessons?
Well, I think it must be 10 or 11. At that time, some children may start thinking like and start using some technologies, because at that time they might have some literacy for writing and reading. After gaining that knowledge, they can start using technology and understand what the technology is.
And then, do you think that schools should use more technology in the classrooms?
Well, I would say yes, because in this contemporary society, technology has been a real game changer. So in terms of education, technology should be used all the time, because it's really important tool. For example, I would say some kind of computers or projectors are the most important part of teaching students. So teachers, I think, should always use that type of tools while teaching.
Do you think computers will one day replace teachers in the classroom?
Sorry, can you repeat that?
In the future, do you think that teachers will be replaced by computers?
Well, not really. I don't think so. Anyway, teachers play an important role in the society. So, yeah, computers and some kind of technologies like AI is getting more and more popular. But anyway, teachers are important. This is mainly because while during the lesson, students might have some questions, so they want to ask questions from their teachers. And if they are attending in an online classroom, they might not have kind of possibility to ask question, or there might be a lot of students there, so they might feel stressed. Even when they are attending in a traditional classroom, they are likely to ask question, and this might help them improve their communication skills also.
Okay, very good. Have you done the test before?
Nope. No, I'm planning to take soon, very soon.
Yeah, you're looking very good. You're close to a band 7, if not a band 7 already. One thing I would say for you is I feel like there are times where you're making it more complicated than it needs to be, right? So it could be in your head, you're thinking about like, okay, what difficult vocab can I use? What impressive vocab can I use? What words can I use that will impress the examiner? And what happens when you do that is that if that brings down your fluency, because instead of just thinking about what you want to say, you're thinking about what you want to say, but also thinking about like, oh, what vocab can I use here? Or maybe what grammar structures can I use here? So in your head, there's so much more going on that you need more time to think. And then, you know, that causes you to speak more slowly, you know?
Yes.
Because you do pause and hesitate a little bit. And I just get that feeling that it's from your attempts to use difficult vocab or difficult grammar or something like that. Do you think that is correct? Are you trying to use difficult vocab, or am I wrong about that?
Well, maybe. I think you asked part 3 questions, and I a bit struggled. I always struggle to answer part 3 questions. I think this is mainly because I don't have any exact ideas most of the time. So
Okay.
maybe that might be the main because of vocabulary that I'm trying to show off my vocabulary. I don't know exactly.
Yeah, you don't need to show off your vocab. Just use whatever vocab you're comfortable with. That would be the first thing I would say to you. And then there are some sentences that seems like you've memorized, like in contemporary society, technology is a game changer. It sounds like you learned that sentence because you want to use that sentence in the IELTS test. And yes, technically it does sound good, but the examiner's just going like, well, that's not really you speaking, that's you repeating something you've memorized. So even though maybe the grammar's good and the vocab's good, it doesn't improve your score because I feel like this is something that you planned to say rather than spontaneously you're reacting to the question, but you know, you have this idea in your head about what you want to say. So that doesn't really improve your score in the way you would imagine. Your vocab's already really good. So you don't need to kind of pretend that your vocab is better than it is. Just use the words you're comfortable using and focus on what you want to talk about. And that will improve your fluency score. And your vocab's already good enough anyway. So you don't need to pretend. Your vocab really is good. So you don't need to pretend it's good.
Mm-hmm.
Now,
what about my pronunciation?
Yeah, your pronunciation's clear. Your pronunciation's clear, easy to understand. The main thing is you're just making it too complicated. Okay. So I wrote down, you're not sure what to say. And that's what you said as well. You said, I don't know what I'm supposed to be talking about. So the problem is in the IELTS writing test, it's an academic test. You need to use formal language. And a lot of people, they take that and they apply that to the speaking test as well. So they think that in the speaking test, they need to speak in an academic, formal way. And they need to talk about the questions as if they're experts. That's not true. You can speak in whatever way you would normally speak. If you normally speak in an informal way, using slang, informal vocab, whatever, that's fine. And you don't need to be an expert on the topic. So, you know, if I'm asking you to talk about education in school, you know, there might be some situation where you just don't know, you know, like, so if you say, do you think schools should use more technology to help children learn? You might say, I'll be honest, I don't know what technology they're using in schools these days. You know, it was a long time ago when I was in school, so I'm sure they're using something now that they weren't when I was in school. So I would really have to go to a modern school and see what technology they're using now before I could really comment on that. You know, that might be an honest answer. So it's not that I need you to be an expert, it's just that I need you to speak. When you're speaking, I can check your fluency, vocab, grammar, and pronunciation. I'm not checking if you're an expert or if your answers are right or wrong. So you don't need to worry too much about that side of things. And I think just be more honest, use your real opinions and talk about your real experiences and your real knowledge. And that's not as difficult, because if you were hanging out with your friends and they asked you this question, you wouldn't think, oh, I don't know what to say. You would say what you're really thinking. So that's just the environment of the test, that you're creating that situation, but it doesn't need to be that. So talk whatever way, use whatever language you would normally use, give whatever answers you would normally give. You don't need to be an expert. You don't need to be formal, you know. So that's why I think you might be making it more complicated. And if you just try to relax with using normal vocab and using normal ideas, I think you'll actually get an even higher score. I think that's the main problem, is you're trying to do too much and you don't need to. but you're not making any significant mistakes in vocab, grammar, pronunciation. So I think just kind of changing your approach, trying to be a bit more natural as like how you would speak if you weren't in the IELTS test, I think that would be a better approach for you.
Thank
Do
you
you have
so
any
much,
questions
teacher.
about that? What was that?
Well, nope, I don't. Thanks for the mock session. I
You're
really
very
appreciate it.
My pleasure. Best of luck with your test. Take care. Bye. Okay, so it seems like that is all we have here today. I have no more questions in the chat and no more students joining me. So let's leave it there. Talk to you all next week. If anybody wants to join my courses or whatever, that's my email address. We'll have a chat and see if you are suitable for my course. So until next week, take care of yourselves. Bye.